Crazy day. Thank you for waiting for us. Um, we're going to be burning the midnight oil again. Let me go on, make sure that everything is working. Looks like I'm live. Everything's working great. Turn this down a little bit, and I'll answer any questions that anybody has because this is so important. Um, Today was a huge day um, because we received two, not just one. This is breaking news. We received uh, two open records requests, and we've been waiting a long time. We did a couple months ago received the archive of Richard's records. We have submitted numerous open records to give us an idea of what happened to what led to his murder, what he reported, um, how he was involved with Park University as CID intern, with the CID uh, uh, dirty agent Marlon Soto, with Leilani Hart that controlled the CID, quote unquote, because she was having an affair with former CID Special Agent Tavita Nusa, who gave her access, unauthorized access to files, many files, and leaked Richard's file to her, and also um, coached her into uh, submitting this notarized criminal complaint affidavit to be used against her husband, also, um, and to submit that, to refer it to the FBI, which is very odd that the CID would be used to refer that to the FBI. Why not the El Paso Police Department? Why not just go to the FBI? And it was accepted by the FBI and was given a number. Um, so, very preferred treatment that Leilani Hart gets. Uh, just sleep with, have a roll in the hay with someone and get to control a whole CID and get your complaint referred to the FBI, and the FBI accepts it and puts a FBI case number to it. And we have that case number. So that means that there was corruption. There was a breach in security. If we have an FBI case number that we have corroborated and confirmed that it belongs to the notarized criminal complaint affidavit that Leilani Hart had referred to the FBI, then there is a security breach, right? And so we received today the CID, the Criminal Investigative Division, open records request, over 790 pages. And we also received an open records request from the Office of the Governor. And, that is over, I believe, almost 90 pages. So we have, a good almost 900 pages to look through, comb through, and understand what is going on. This is what happens when you have uh, a compromised government, a compromised Department of Justice, and a compromised military. The military is absolutely compromised, and I, first understood that. I always knew that there was some corruption in there. That's why they were saying, fraud, waste, and abuse, fraud, waste, and abuse. If you see fraud, waste, and abuse, see something, say something. They were trying to get a hand on it, But they didn't get a hand on it, and it became very political, meaning our military. And our military now is being led by compromised, um, I would say treasonous, 44 four-star general and admirals that are serving foreign and domestic enemies clearly, because when this whole thing came out with the COVID, that was a huge indication of the problem that our military faces, our volunteer sons and daughters. And the numbers of volunteers is so low right now that screams that the word has gotten out that the leadership cannot be trusted, that there is a breach in security, not only in our law enforcement, but in the leadership itself, that they are putting the United States in danger, absolutely in danger. This is a national security threat, and you see that with the COVID, zero risk to any soldier. Oh, but they were the most tyrannical. I remember when it started when we lived in Florida, and we went up to Tampa to the base there, and we got on. We had to drive almost an hour to get there. We got on, and we just turned around, excuse me, and left right away because we did not want to. We didn't think anything we had to do at the PX and commissary was worth participating in the treason that was happening there to our military sons and daughters from their leadership. And it was very clear. And then when Richard went missing, then it opened up the door to a better look at the problem that we all face, in our military and in our government. And so here we are every night coming on and letting you know. Now, are we without hope? No way, no way. And I think today is a very good indication that we can do something. We can turn this around. We have to work hard and day in and day out demanding that the standard operating procedures, that the laws be followed. And we're making headway there. And the CID responding, we will get back to you with what is contained in those 790 pages. But the point that I can tell you today is that the response that we received, 790 pages, that in itself means that they felt compelled by actions behind the scenes, by institutional help behind the scenes, that they had to respond to us, and not just in a flippant way. They had to give us information, and that is 790 pages. So, and the same thing with the Office of the Governor of Texas, Governor Abbott, that he felt that office, and we have multiple lots of them, open records requests, and we have more coming because we are understanding what happened with Richard, and now being connected to the August 3rd, which is Dallas Hart's birthday. And Dallas Hart is a prime suspect, the platoon leader, Richard's platoon leader, in Richard's murder. And so for the Walmart mass shooting to have taken place on Dallas Hart's birthday, August 3rd, 2019, is a really, uh, I guess it's just a coincidence, right? It's just a coincidence because his mother is also, Leilani Hart, also a prime suspect, and James Courtney Hart also. Just because Leilani Hart has been deemed an unreliable source, and she is, does not mean that uh, James Courtney Hart is off the hook, right? That what was being said uh, in the affidavit, in the complaint, um, does not need to be scrutinized and looked into, um, which is, incest, um, pedophilia, child pornography, which is child torture, illegal weapons purchasing, and Leilani Hart's immigration problem, because which explains why she doesn't use her name, her real name, and our records show she's from Western Samoa, which would mean that she would need to have to go through um, immigration, immigration to get to be legal, and she admitted in the complaint that she had an immigration problem. So, and this child pornography is also a really, really big deal, and the pedophilia, because we seem to be ruled by pedophiles. This whole Jeffrey Epstein records coming out shows that this is a real, real problem in the movers and the shakers of our country, that they have a pedophile problem. And I think it's even worse than that. I've heard worse than that. And there is a great demand for child sex trafficking for all the way up to 18 years old. And that describes totally the 85,000 missing children that were under the care of Fort Bliss, and also specifically the CYS director, Ann Ogle, that also works for Park University, that also has her own businesses with Thomas Kane, who she seems, we've had reports that they have a very, very close relationship. It seems like he has a close relationship with many women. And so Ann Ogle also works for Raven Aerostar, the high altitude, high pressure balloons that are used for surveillance. They are surveillance balloons, also used for and they launch what our investigation has shown from White Sands. And so why am I saying all of this? Because there are high stakes amongst these leaders that seem to have a pedophile problem, that seem to be involved in sex cults, seem to live in a different kind of world than the regular American does, and they have many jobs. I mean, can you imagine? You're the CYS director of all children, all child care on Fort Bliss, and also employed at Park University, and I believe at New Mexico State University, which we will look at, and then have been looking at. Also, Raven Aerostar, and also other businesses with Thomas Kane. And this is like a workaholic a superwoman, right? A superwoman. So um, I think it's very important for us to, Team Find Richard Halliday, to let you know what's going on, that there are high stakes. And you see that with Jeffrey Epstein, that he's involved with most, that he's, this involved with pedophilia, involved in high stakes with uh, leaders around the world that are up to no good, right? All kinds of leadership. And that includes the Hollywood, the acting, the media, because the media and the news media and the legacy news media is really important um, uh, in these last decades, because they hypnotize us, right? They do a psyops. They put a little clock in front of us and dangle it, and make us think things that are not in reality. Um, give us false witness testimonies. They twist the truth. And I just watched a video of Glendon Oakley Jr. on day 2, August 4th, and wow, wow, y'all. I need to put day 1 and I need to put day 2, August 3rd and August 4th, up for everyone to watch. I think it is so, so telling. And body language analysis shows that he is telling the truth. That wow, what a beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And y- and I've been Team Find Richard Halliday. We all feel this. We have dealt with so many people over these 3 years, and throughout our life, and to witness Glendon Oakley Jr. It makes you cry, because it reminds us of Richard, that Richard, absolutely beautiful and beautiful, um, and Glendon also. Um, and what they do is they will comb through any kind of weaknesses these people, that these magnificent, magnificent creations of God have, and they exploit them. They exploit them and they bully them. That's what they use to bully. And how do I know this? Because they've done this to me. Okay? They've done this to me. And, uh, you know, I'm not 20 years old. I'm not 23 years old. And also, um, I've been through uh, the homeschooling, the homeschooling um, scrutiny, and also the adoption scrutiny, and also my faith, the scrutiny on our faith. Um, Thank you. And so, that experience has uh, helped us so much when they came after us, when they came after whatever uh, physical or mental or whatever weaknesses that they could find in me, in our family. They would try to exploit, and they would use that to hurt us and be vile and vulgar, continuously vile and vulgar. And, and they absolutely did that to Richard, and they absolutely did that to Glendon Oakley. And it is so evident in just one day. So what does this say? You on the of the mass shooting, and I'm talking about Glendon Oakley. You have him on that day, okay, and he's this, uh, you know, you could tell his adrenaline is just going right. Um, Body language analysis, absolutely, he is being totally authentic, and his adrenaline is rolling, and he is talking about the children. He's talking about the other witnesses in the mall, hearing the shootings, um, and then of course he talks about cops, um, the M4s in the hands of mall cops. So that is really, really important. That means that they had to get the M4s from somewhere, and that those mall cops, this was a staged event. In my opinion, yes, they staged, beautifully staged, the task force find Richard Halliday with an op board to search for him, to find him. Okay? There's no op board. There is no op board. There was no op board. There is no op board to okay, staged this task force find Richard Halliday with 15 plus agencies, right? Without an op board. And in that meeting, they were sitting there. They witnessed, even the FBI, us saying that there were leaks, that there was a problem in the CID, and they allowed Dirty Agent Marlon Soto to say that he was going to investigate himself, his own office, which is not allowed, okay? And they allowed it. They allowed it. And there were so many other things that happened. But the point is, could we stage some kind of training event that was a political, oh my God, you know, assassination of the American people in this, by the military, that the military, can you imagine what I'm saying right now? Can you imagine? This is, look, you can, hero, a hero saving children, full of adrenaline, and that's Glendon Oakley. And the next day, he is already going through vile, vulgar hate. So already mentally shaken. And then in April of 20, found dead in the barracks. After going through continuous and severe retaliation. Okay? It is absolutely very clear in one day that something planned was going on, that they have these keyboard up to no good demons. They call them keyboard warriors, but these are keyboard demons, right? And I even think that they probably went to Richard like they did us. And these are like FBI informants, because we have confirmed that of FBI informants involved in Richard's case. Absolutely confirmed. And they come up and they schmooze you, or they have to carry on to create the narrative that's been directed for them to do. So there is no excuse for Glendon Oakley, a hero, to be so um, and maligned and twisted, and to be visibly shaken, okay? When only 24 hours before that, or less than that, he was full of adrenaline, saving children. In the midst of gunfire in the mall, Cielo, I hope I'm saying that right, Vista Mall, right there, pretty far away. It's right there. They share the same parking lot area and whatever, but it's a huge amount of different distance because this is Texas. Everything is big in Texas. You have Walmart, you have the mall, and you don't have an active shooter in Walmart shooting bullets out. Unless he's like Flash or something like that, and then zip on over to the mall that is, like almost a mile away and shoot fire there, then zip on back and then shoot people at Walmart again or in the parking lot. Okay? And that just doesn't happen. And then you don't have a hero, right? Be visibly upset, not because the media is okay. That's not why he was visibly upset. He said that, but that would not, you can handle that. We handled that early on with Richard, but it was things going on behind the scenes. They did not want him to say. They wanted him to doubt what he had experienced, that there were shots in the mall, that there was mall cops with M4 rifles, which that they are even mall cops because, my husband, I was like, M4s in the hands of mall cops? He goes, they weren't mall cops. And these are a lot, and he's not the only witness. So Oakley. And is it the same people that harassed Oakley that harassed Richard, that harassed us? Is it the same people? Because of investigating Oakley's death? Dirty Agent Marlon Soto. Yes. So, see, all of this is coming together because we know that the same people, like Leilani Hart, like Rosa Maria Valdez Garcia, like Yolanda Ortega Garcia, like Belen Rocha, like Lydia Rocha, like Eddie Rocha, like Danae Katzen, like Tanya Katzen, and many, many more, like Felix Valenzuela, the defense attorney for Patrick Cruces, like Patrick Cruces, okay? There is a connection with Richard's case. Clearly, there is a connection with Richard's case. And the connection is that this is a criminal organization. And if they are a criminal organization involved in the August 3rd, 2019 collusion with the military, that is the only thing that we can think of why there would be M4s in the hands of so-called mall cops. Okay? Those are military weapons. They had to. So, be scrutinized. Richard Oakley? Team 5 Richard Halliday? No. Who needs to be really scrutinized? Major General Clem Coward, Major General White, um, our our 44 generals and admirals who have big stakes, big um, uh, plans in our government for contracts for they they work for um, foreign and domestic enemies that have big plans, big business plans, and they need the proper politics to make their millions and their business. And that explains why they don't care about our volunteer sons and daughters. They don't care about rape. They don't care that they're getting shot up in senseless ways. They do not care that they're being sold illegal drugs right there in the barracks, that it's a marketplace for illegal barracks, that they get harassed, that there's a sex cult, because they are the sex cult pedophiles, right? So they don't care that that's in our barracks, on our. There are security breaches, right? They don't care that there's security breaches, that young girls are living in the barracks being prostituted out, that there are 85,000 unaccounted for minors on a military base in a secured area called the Emergency Intake Center. They don't care because they are and sex cultists with high stakes business plans. And that's why they make friends with the likes of Jeffrey Epstein and go to Jeffrey Epstein's island. And who knows what they do there? Where are these young children? You can call them 17 and under. They're children. Where are they? Because when you are even a young adult, you can be harassed, you can be retaliated against continuously and severely. They can play on every one of your weaknesses, any one of your little foibles that you've done, and they can make it such a big mountain, and that we have a suicide problem now, right? To make you feel like you don't want to live anymore, or if you have a solid ground that you stand on, then they murder you and dismember you. And dirty, rotten to the core. Sean Bernabe got a 3rd star. He's so rotten, y'all. He needs to be stripped from to die. He needs to be stripped from uniform, from those stars, from every benefit. He is an enemy of our country. He's an enemy of our country. And he was trying hard to whatever he could to manipulate the circumstances so that they could say that Richard committed suicide. They wanted to. Oh, yes. And and it was an act, you see. It was getting people in there. People, trying to con us and fool us and everything like that for us to accept it. But couldn't, because he was dismembered. And how do you explain that as a suicide? How do you explain that as a suicide? You know. They haven't released, we're getting information about Oakley's death. Um, and I think I'm going to do an open records. I think I'm going to do an open records about his death because he is a soldier. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I think we need all of us to ask the military what happened. What is the cause of death for Oakley? I think it's very important because the information that I'm getting back, um, it's not too good. And for Dirty Agent Marlon Soto to be in charge of the investigation into the death of Oakley, sorry, that's stinky. That's really stinky. That is really stinky. And it, that means there's foul play. To me, that means there's foul play. And watching the hours difference in this young man from being of life and being so proud that he is a soldier, that you have to watch those videos, and from the next day to the next day have that shaky Jake, that paralegal, remember the paralegal, the fear, them hounding him. They were to track him down like he is an animal, and just destroy him. That means there was a plan. There were people lined up, ready to manufacture this false narrative that Patrick was a lone wolf. That's what that means. To me. To me, in my opinion. In my opinion. See, because there's no other explanation for it. Would harass a hero soldier so desperately, and the media, the likes of Bob Moore and Angela Kachurga, to already hound him down mentally and physically in a matter of hours. The only explanation is they had lined up their keyboard demons. Their FBI informants. And why do I say FBI informants? Because, FBI informants, they are allowed to commit crime. We have so many FBI informants. It is shocking. And for the most part, they're criminals. They have criminal records. And they are allowed to commit crimes. To create crimes for the pedophile elite class, mostly pedophile elite class, that have big stakes, that live in a world that we just don't understand because they have access to different news than we do, the different economics than we do. And they live in this sex cult pedophilia world. And it's coming out with Jeffrey Epstein. And it's the only thing that explains what happened to Oakley, what happened to Richard, what happened on all, M4s in the hands of mall guards, mall cops. Sorry, they're not mall cops, in my opinion. And not only that, but there were multiple witnesses. And Oakley says that he was with another guy, another person that saw this. Patrick Crucius is not Flash. Okay? He's not Flash. And for them to withhold all kinds of video from us, and yet release the two weird pictures of Patrick Crucius right into the front door is weird. And there's so much more because there's Bliss Avenue. There's Bliss Avenue. So we received the CID thanks to all of you. And I want to make that very, very clear. It's because of all of you. We surpassed 4,000 on TikTok now. And I know there's all this debate about TikTok, but we have a missing soldier here. We have a missing son, and a lot of young people are over on TikTok. We have over 4,000 followers now, and here on Facebook, we have around 4,400, and then of course we have other platforms. So we're reaching out to about 10,000 a day, more to let everyone know what is happening on our military bases, via Richard's case, via Team Find Richard Halliday. And if our military is involved in politics to such an extreme that they would organize a mass shooting and participate in a mass shooting as a training, that's scary stuff. And that needs to be investigated. And where did these M4s come from? I think they need to start with Major General Clem Coward. Where did and Major General White. Also, we have received additional information about Richard's complaints, and it talked about a colonel. And, we haven't really talked about Colonel Dauber much, but absolutely he's starting to come into the picture a lot. So, there's a real national security threat. Who, in HRC, and we have the name of the person in HRC that would give these positions, that would put these people in position. Who in the world would give stars to the likes of Donna Martin, to the likes of Sean Bernabe, to the likes of McConville, to the likes of Mealy? Who would not have oversight over them? I mean, Veronica Escobar, where is she? She could do something about this, but no, she clearly is part of the high stakes, in my opinion. Because if she wasn't, maybe she's just so afraid, right? Maybe she's just so afraid. But no, we have other information. And whoever bullied and harassed continuously, severely, Glendon Oakley and did the same to Richard and did the same to Teen Farm Richard Halliday. Um, yeah, that is a good indicator. Because I'm going to tell you, this group is not as big as you think it is. It's not as big as you think it is. And so I want to thank all of you. It's because of all of you that we have gotten this far. Um, and absolutely, uh, you know, keep in mind that Leilani Hart is the prime suspect. A prime suspect in Richard's case. But of course, the platoon leader, her son, Dallas Hart, also Marlon Soto, also Tavita Nusa, also so many uh, involved in these brutal crimes, this terrible crime of a whistleblower. Okay, and it absolutely there's motivation in this because they're trying to protect their criminal enterprise. Okay, that is um, laced in and out, weaved in and out with pedophilia, child pornography, narcotics trafficking, weapon smuggling, and of course, child pornography. So yeah, absolutely, but that is not only what is going on, because there's higher stakes in the politics than what we can understand, than what we know, because they are absolutely getting protection. Why would Congress, why would the law enforcement, the Department of Justice, um, protect the narcotics trafficking, the weapon smuggling, the Walmart mass shooting, organized uh, murder of so many this like an assassination, right? I think so. I think that's one thing that was involved. And this was with Oakley, with his response from one day to the next. Call it circumstantial evidence, call it an irregularity, whatever you want to call it, but it is a huge indication that there was a what do you want? What do I want to call it? A force, a platoon, an army of keyboard demons to that had the directive to make this a one-man lone wolf, and he was their target because he witnessed something totally different. So yeah, that is. Let's see if you have any questions. Good evening. Thank you, Danielle. Have you contacted the Oakley family? Um, yeah, I'm not at liberty to say that. It's bittersweet to see you still working so vehemently to get justice for Richard. I still tell those his story. Never stop. I hope to God those responsible for whatever happened to him pay. Truth will eventually come to light. Thank you so much. Absolutely, it is via getting justice for Richard that I hope to get justice for Oakley. I hope to get justice for so many of our sons and daughters that are in the military that were unjustly targeted just because they wanted to do the right thing. And Oakley said that over and over again. Just wanted to do the right thing. And I absolutely know that with Richard. So, yeah. But the leadership, they don't want that, you see. They like their 85,000 missing children. That's what they like. And they like their business plans, and they like their power. And I think, I've more and more and more that this comes out, that this is political. I'm thinking it was a hit against Trump, against what Trump was trying to do. I don't know, because I know that I don't know everything. I do know that. I know that I don't know anything. I don't know everything. Um, and we're going to find out. That's why we keep going. Because it just seems like, being an election year, and getting close to an election year in 2019, and the economy was doing so well at that time, and I keep up with economics. I really, living overseas, I really didn't even know who Trump was. I had, heard his name, but that's about it. And when he started to run for president, the first thing that I did was look up his financials. I wanted to see what his financials looked like, and I posted them. I even posted them recently. Amazing. I remember 2015, amazing financials. I was like, oh my gosh, wow. This man knows how to build something. He knows how to build companies. He knows how to produce something, not just be a fun sucker, right? Not just, I want funds for this, and I want funds for this, and I want funds for this, and, to the American people. He actually creates something that produces something. And that was in 2015. And this, hate, ridiculous stuff. And then with the COVID, which, I didn't really agree with him with, of course, because I don't even believe in viruses, and he's like this germ phobe, whatever. And I'm like, geez, you have grandchildren. How can you be a germ phobe? But of course, he's always busy. But, I just think germs that's it is. It's a theory. It's called the germ theory. It's never proven. And of course, COVID showed that, um, which is another long discussion. But what I did love was his opportunity zones for the inner city, and to see the opposing side, the Antifa, all the burning of the cities. If you overlaid the burning with the opportunity zones, that's what they burned. It was a political attack. They burned the opportunity zones that President Trump had created. And that was an indication that this was politics. And when Richard went missing, and I never, and I knew about the Walmart shooting, but I never dreamed that it could be a political attack, and that our military would participate in it, or be but M4's in the hands of mall cops, and the military was there, and they're not protecting a hero. They're not even reassigning him to protect him after he's being harassed. After hour 3, what did they even wait till hour 3 after he was a hero to start attacking him and bullying him and harassing him? Because he was visibly, the next day, he was visibly shaken by the attacks. and admitted it in front of the camera. So, and this is, seeing him right after he's saving children and then being visibly shaken, and then the military leadership is not even protecting him. And then the things that followed, because like Richard, remember Richard, they had these setups, they set him up. I'm wondering, if Oakley was set up. I mean, these are demons, and they work for foreign and domestic enemies. And our 44 four-star generals and admirals um, have betrayed us clearly. Clearly. If they can't have Oakley 6, if they can't have Richard 6, what about Asia Graham 6? What about Vanessa Guillen 6? What about, um, and then they assign dirty agent Marlon Soto to investigate Oakley's death, and then it's all hush hush. It's all hush hush. What happened? What happened to him? He's our soldier. Where's the cause of death? Yeah. So thank you so much. Um, and, just pray for us and please share. It is so important for everyone to share, 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 because that's our safety. The more people that know us, um, yeah, the more safety that we have. That's our security, because there has been a security breach in our system. Absolutely. Thank you, everyone. Good night, everyone. And God bless you. We'll be back.